I think if we were aliens looking down at how we communicate online,
Yeah.
we'd be like just laughing. And then it's the same with money.
Right.
The aliens would look down and see how we do money. Oh, they just trust that little group of people to control money. That's ridiculous. Right. And then they're like, oh, so everybody consumes information through their phone, and that information is given to them by these corporations with their whatever incentives they have to go. Like, you're obviously programming people.
Right.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And Nostr changes that.
Yeah, buddy.
All right. Pleasure to be thinking about thinking with you.
Likewise. It's always a pleasure. Paul in the jungle. Here we are, outside the jungle again.
Well,
in the midst of my jungle.
Yes.
Welcome back, man.
Thanks.
I feel like we've just been in so many different places together throughout the past few years. And
it's kind of wild.
Yeah, I got a lot of things just that I wanted to dig into and that I've been thinking about recently. But I feel like we can just rip for a little while and see where things go.
All right, man. Stoked for it.
So just for people who are getting to know you, what's a little bit of a background of your story and how did you end up in the Bitcoin space, in Nostr, and coming to your mission now?
Yeah, that was a journey. So I did 24 years in school. Well, I mean, what is that, like 18? Got out of school at 24 with a master's degree in organizational psychology. Real fancy. Don't even remember much about that at all, or don't really use it. But
organizational psychology.
Organizational psychology. The way I like to put it is it's the study of how to make work not suck. And I played baseball throughout college, and then so that was 24, and now I'm 32. Maybe after I got out of school, it was like, okay, what are you going to go do? Follow with your life now that somebody else isn't giving you a curriculum. And I thought I was going to go just surf the world. Like, I mean, I have been now, but surf the world, teach surfing. But right when I stopped school, right when I graduated, like literally the same week, I got this crazy autoimmune disease or flare up of something that we don't really even know what it was. And that sat me on the couch, made me think, had a little ego death, really, because I formed my entire identity off being like this baseball playing, surfer, athletic dude. Next thing you know, I can't walk. My knees inflamed. I had a fever for a month straight. And I was like, how am I going to make money? How am I going to get healthy? And that's where the passion for health came in, and where my passion for Bitcoin went in. And that rabbit hole started was right after I got done with school, where I could start thinking for myself and figuring out what was interesting to me.
So you're saying that the school route didn't teach you how to get healthy and how to make money?
Actually, no.
That wasn't leading you directly on like the straight path.
You know what it did was it absolutely terrified me from getting a real job.
Right.
It made me realize, as I studied organizational psychology, that your work is literally your life. And if you don't choose carefully, you're gone.
Yeah.
It's all gone. And everything sounded so boring to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I grew up with this thought of like, you get older, you get to your 30s, even 25, I thought was really old. And it was like, all right, your life's done. You just got to go work and get fat. I don't know. I didn't have the best model or examples to look up to of how I wanted to live my adult life, because I never really thought about it either, because everything just worked. It was like a great bubble to be in. Baseball, school. It's all that's important right now. I got friends, and eventually going to figure it out.
Right.
Yeah.
you were just in the moment and moving through life, and then you were and then you did kind of figure it out.
Well,
I sense kind of.
But I'm so grateful for that time.
Yeah.
Just like on the sidelines, figuring it out, learning what I wanted to think about. And I spent like 4 or 5 years pretty much just wandering, a little bit, kind of lost, but all that time I was taking care of myself for the most part, learning and studying what I was interested in. And now it kind of feels like it paid off, because I do work full time in the space that was interesting to me, like the Bitcoin space, freedom tech space. And I'm super grateful for the time of wandering that I had.
Eventually that led you to Costa Rica.
Yeah.
And it was Bitcoin that kind of enabled that process for you, right?
100%. Yeah.
And that was like was that a long-term dream of yours to live there, or you just visit it once and you're like, I have to be here?
Yeah, it was like, okay, where do I have the most fun? Fun's always been kind of a North Star as well.
Yeah.
Just trying to, where would I have the most fun? And I had so much fun when I'd be living in tropical climates where the water is warm. You didn't have to put on a wetsuit to go surf, and it was just right there. And I'd been to Costa Rica a couple times before, whether it was like a little trip with my friends or yoga teacher training. It's like, man, Costa Rica is awesome. I want to figure out how to live there.
Right.
And the drive down was, there's a other mission. It was to deliver baseball gear to kids, and I did that in Nicaragua, filled up my truck, had a little GoFundMe, and it was an awesome ride down. I was surfing all the way. Yeah, it was also that little belief in the little bit of Bitcoin I had that I could just kind of leave everything behind and go try to find a different life that was more fun for me and more aligned. And then on the way down is when I met those Bitcoiners who I'm still in contact with today. And
was that in El Salvador?
Yeah. That was in El Salvador,
Yeah.
In the first Bitcoin conference. Yeah, there's just like, oh, this is what I've been missing. This sort of connection, or this, we're on the same page in terms of in a lot of terms. I'd been pursuing work in the acting modeling industry and never really made a deep connection or somebody I wanted to, really go to work with, or I don't know. And it was all selfish. It was like, how can I serve myself to go, just have fun on the side, or I don't know. It wasn't quite right. It wasn't like, how can I, what's my gifts and talents and how can I make the world a better place? It was like, how can I just serve myself to go screw around, really? Yeah. Meeting the Bitcoiners, I was just basically following that signal, and ended up following that and went to a meetup in Costa Rica. And next thing you know, I just had like an instant friend group and people to kind of rely and trust, and just kind of compounded from there. I knew some luck was going to compound into something.
Yeah.
And figured out a way to stay there and work on something important with friends.
Yeah. So what's that thing?
Yeah, that thing in the beginning was working with Saladino to make the world healthy again.
Okay.
And we were winning that battle so much that a new battle came, and that was trying to make social media a healthier place.
Okay.
And that's what I'm working on full time.
So for people who don't know, Paul Saladino he wrote the Carnivore Code, and he was basically putting the carnivore diet on the map for a lot of people.
Yeah, and it wasn't just the carnivore diet. It's kind of evolved since then, but we went through a period of like this vegan washing, like greenwashing of food that we just completely forgot. So I think the fundamental truth that he was so passionate about and kind of reminded people about is that, no, we're omnivores. We thrive off of meat. It's like evolutionary appropriate food, and it makes you thrive as a human. Yeah. And yeah, it just seemed I feel like, the timing of all of it was so perfect too. A lot of people benefit from doing a carnivore diet, and it's just kind of exposing all this, and then just using social media to his advantage to really get the message out there. And I feel like we memed it to the White House, basically.
Yeah. Pretty much with Kennedy. RFK. Yeah. And you could see the Beyond Meat stock price kind of like tanking.
You love to see it, man. Nature's healing.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Sorry for all the people who lost money on it, but not really, because you shouldn't have been betting on a freaking sludge company, food company.
Sludge is all it is.
Right.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy going back to that, and how that, like, the vegan narrative really got underneath me, got underneath everybody. I guess through
Were you
Netflix,
at a point, was there a point where you were kind of entertaining it, the vegan thing? Or was it,
yes and
you were
no,
just seeing it around you?
I didn't really have the strongest opinion. I was like, but why would I eat that stuff? That doesn't look good. I'd rather just have the meat. I like the meat. I do remember some really powerful documentaries coming out, and Paul's got a documentary coming out like next week, literally. Yeah. Or maybe even,
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Well, I saw one that he did on YouTube, or that I think it is on
Heart
YouTube.
and Soil did it? Yeah.
The Heart and Soil one. There's another one?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and that's like premiering it. They actually might sell that to Netflix and everything. So it's kind of done a full 180, which you love to see.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's cool to be a part of that. It's
important. Dude, just from personal experience, like when we were going through Argentina and just eating all the steak we could get, just like asado after asado.
Yeah.
You just feel so good. So the vitality is just there. It makes sense. And that's one of the things that I guess I always love about going down and hanging out with you guys in Costa Rica is there's like this pure connection that I begin to reform, I guess, with nature, just being in the sun and being surfing all the time, being in the jungle. But the diet and eating like really high quality food is a huge part of that too. And we're just always grilling tons of meat together.
Yeah. It's cool. It's like you start out in people, I'm thinking about kind of a normal person's health journey. Like, oh, I got to go on a diet. But then it just becomes like just second nature to just eat real food. And maybe down there it's a little bit easier because, well, not easier, but yeah, all the food we just get from farmers markets. You got the meat plug. It's like, what else do I really want?
Right.
And then you want to be up early to surf every morning in the sunshine.
Right.
So you don't want to eat like crap and feel bad. And eventually it just becomes, you just look at the other foods and it's like, that doesn't even call to me. That looks gross.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So in other personal developments, there's been a new recent development. Well, we kind of skipped over Laura.
We skipped over Amore. I'm sorry, Amore.
We did not skip over her. She was in there. That in my next question. I'm a little claim to fame that I have is being able to marry you and Amore.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And that was like one of the coolest experiences I've had. Just like being there in front of both of you, like seeing the both of you say your vows to one another, and then seeing everyone else's like smiles and their presence there in this beautiful place on the cliff above the ocean. It was all just so fitting. What's marriage been like, man? What's being a dad like now?
I'm a dad. It really is such a blessing. Like I would hear dudes say that and I'd be like, yeah, you guys are faking it. And everybody has a different experience and everything, of course. But it really has been a blessing.
Yeah.
It feels good. It's completely focused me. Ever since meeting Laura, I mean, it's basically when I started getting my life on track, if you want to call it that way. Like something bigger purpose than just satisfying myself. When I started to work, and it's exactly when I met Laura, and then now I have a relationship, and I was kind of taking care of her throughout the whole relationship, still taking care of her now in many ways, like financially, but she takes care of me, and the house and the baby is just amazing. And I'm so grateful for doing it that way, in the traditional way of getting engaged, having a wedding, and getting pregnant, having a baby at home.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't imagine doing any of these things without doing that big ceremony in front of all my friends.
Like out of order?
Or doing it out of order. Skipping around, but just, yeah, I had a moment during the birth. We gave birth at home in Costa Rica and at our rental house, but there was a moment when she went into active labor. I was like, oh man, this is the most beautiful thing ever. She has to do all this work just to have my baby. I'm so glad that we got married and told everybody in front of all of our friends that we're going to be together forever, because now I can just hold this space and like really hold her and give her the confidence that I'm here. There's no questions about it. Like, I'm here. This is what we're doing.
Right.
And I feel like that experience made her birth experience smoother. Because I get to hear other stories and I'm like, there's something I think going on here. And just the amount of blessings that pour in. I was just talking to a friend who was thinking about getting engaged and married and everything. And then he was like, maybe I'll just have a kid right after we get engaged. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, man, I think there's something about this like traditional way, getting married before you have the kids, and it could be completely wrong, but we're only a year and like a month in, so what the hell do I know? But it's amazing. And then having a baby every day to come home to, like, yeah, I'm still dude. I want to go do dude stuff, go create, go to war, go surf.
Yeah,
and it's hard sometimes when baby and mom are right there and I don't have my space, or like, so I'm trying to, I learned this new term, Imagineer. So I'm trying to like
Imagineer.
Imagineer the perfect future where mom and baby are taken care of, and I get to be there and a present dad, but still have like my own time to go, I don't know, be a dude,
Yeah.
whatever that may mean. Um, but coming home, that's what I was getting to, is so rewarding every day, like, and seeing mom and baby there and just being with them. Like even just going away, like I'm away now, going back, it's like, oh yeah, family. That feels good.
Right.
And it's also been fascinating to see how much a child brings family and just people together. I mean, they're built-in entertainment machines, dude. Like right now, you know, we're looking at this when we're bored, right? But then when you have a baby, you and your friends are just like making stupid faces at the baby or just passing the baby around, like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
Absolutely.
kind of wholesome. I don't know. Feels good.
Yeah, man. They're a blessing.
Yeah. And it's cool to not just philosophize about it anymore and actually have one.
Experience it.
Yeah. And have it. And now I want more, I think.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't really imagine it, but like, what else am I going to do with my time, right?
Absolutely.
In Imagineer dream world
Yeah.
that I'm trying to live in.
Like all of us said, like you and Laura have to have as many babies as possible, man.
Yes.
It's necessary for
Human survival.
for human survival. Yeah, man. That's for me, becoming a father as well was one of the most transformational experiences of my life. And it's like, yeah, you can bring these a little closer. Yeah, it's like you're seeing for me, it was like experiencing a whole new flavor of love that I'd never had before or experienced or known was even there. You're kind of like drawn out. It's drawn out of your heart, this new emotion and mindset, and being like, "Oh, this is a whole new like human being that's now within our care," right?
But she doesn't need that many calories. It's not that hard. She just sits there with mom.
Right.
If you can take care of mom.
Yeah, exactly.
It was funny. Last night we got home and literally my grandma, and then now, and my mom just sat there with Maya in her stroller, just like staring at her, then picked her up and just making goo goo faces for like an hour. It's just like, this is so awesome. What it does, like reignites a fire in the grandmas and just, with the whole family unit. Which is, it's amazing. And yeah, we living in Costa Rica, I don't know. I mean, it feels like the end game for me, but also it's like, how are we going to have family around all the time? I mean, they keep coming down so far and they're coming down again, but
they are
some things I think about.
So in your dreamineering or
what
do you call it?
It's Imagineering.
Imagineering. Yeah.
How great is that?
I like it.
We're hanging out with a hippie in Kauai and he's like, he's got this awesome property. He's like, yeah, I Imagineered this whole property. Now I just got to figure out how to pay for it. But I mean, it was an amazing place and he's doing it, you know?
Yeah. What are some of the threads you're pulling together in terms of Imagineering the environment?
Yeah.
That you want to bring?
I'm thinking deeply about it. Like I said, the humans you surround, like I'm starting to think where you are is less and less important to an extent. It's really about who you have around you. Just like some ride or dies, caretakers, friends. That's really important. And whether it's like a traveling pack of them or multiple bases around the world, that's some things I'm kind of thinking about. Yeah, just in Kauai, I saw friends with like little houses on the same property that are awesome. I'm like, okay, that could be perfect because y'all end up just like kind of hanging out or playing around, and then someone takes care of the kids and. I started playing with another kid, you know, like, so cool. Community centers to play at and just meet. Like my life I'm starting to think I need padel in my life, which is like pickleball. And it's definitely got surfing and just a cool constant influx of people coming around.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think we're allowed to talk about it. We're going to make this happen in Costa Rica now.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, where we're at. So
hell yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we have experimented and experienced like communal living in all different types of environments together, which has been super cool. I've learned a lot, and just seeing that as something that I'd like to incorporate more into my life too. And being here is it's sort of like that. We've got bigger house and people coming through once in a while, and really great environment for hosting and everything. Yeah, there's so many benefits that come from having like valued people just in your midst, that are on a mission, that are like dedicated, and for like accountability purposes, for inspiration, and just having fun. Like how much more fun do we have when we're in that big house in Costa Rica together, or on a lake in Bariloche.
It's just a fun factory.
Right.
And it is also funny how if you're with a squad of people, everybody just kind of finds their role somehow. We all kind of just meld into, and it's kind of scary because we're going into a place where AI might take over, and how are humans going to be useful? But I think we all, if you like hanging out with somebody near you, you're going to figure out how you fit into that puzzle of humans to be productive and move the tribe forwards.
Yeah, absolutely. Like nature and the beautiful world that we live in isn't going anywhere.
No.
So we can always, unplug from the metaverse as much as possible and get into that. But it is a brave new environment that we're kind of moving into with that.
Definitely.
Have you, so you're involved with Primal, you're involved with Nostr. You're essentially creating a new way of using the internet that's more conducive to like humanity. Is that one way?
Yeah.
One way to describe it.
Yeah. This whole concept of like an ethical social media or organic social media is something that I'm kind of obsessed with now. Social media has completely just been captured by big tech, and big techs, these corporations, they have their incentives, which are not really aligned with humanity. And they've served tremendous roles, and they're incredibly useful products and apps. But of course, I worry about our reaction to them and how we're using these apps and how much power they have. So Primal and the whole Nostr ecosystem, you can just think of Nostr as this group of apps, is a new way to do social media online. And it's a principled approach at doing it. One of the most important principles of it, and like one of the most important things about it, is that with Primal, you can actually just leave Primal and go to another app and maintain all your social connections and your content. And that may not seem too crazy when you talk about it now, but you think about the monopoly that Instagram has right now, right? That's where advertising goes down. That's where you have to be in order to get your message out to people.
Right.
Imagine if you could like clone Instagram and use it how you'd want to. How if anybody could just clone Instagram and take the users and the content and just display it differently, how much of a different relationship that we'd have with everything, I think. Because it would make it so that there would be a bunch of different algorithms. There wouldn't be one singular algorithm to go to manufacture, to make your content to serve. Because right now we're just making content for algorithms. We're not making it just for people.
Right.
There'd just be like this marketplace, and that's kind of what the whole Nostr ecosystem provides. And I don't know if we'll be able to sell people on that, but it'll eventually, I'm sure, will be obvious that with Nostr you have one ID and you can have all your content types on it, your blogs, your long form videos, your podcasts, eventually your music. Instead of creating these accounts and these little rented identities of yourself on all these different apps, you have one identity for all the apps. That's kind of what sold me.
Right.
Originally on Nostr, and after working for Saladino, having to go in and post your content to each different app, different strategies here and there. It's like, no, man, this is kind of dumb. And the fact that you don't even own it and that you can get canceled. Like I jumped on Salad's team right after he got canceled for talking about COVID and against the vaccines and stuff. It's just that central point of failure. It shouldn't be like that. And I think Nostr is nature's way of solving this. The
Right.
fact that all the media and content is captured right now.
Right.
But
Yes.
we'll see what brings people to Primal. Could be a lot of different reasons. But
Right.
I don't think it's going to be the Nostr principles, which I could talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, well, to me, it's fascinating to think about how, even with the existing social media companies that we have now, you have so much content being produced, and just like it's almost an infinite, like you couldn't watch or see or consume, one person couldn't consume all of it, right? And so then you have these filters, the algorithms, which are determining like what we're actually seeing and what's being put in front of our face.
Yeah.
So there's like the consumer side of it, and then the producer side of it. If the people who are like presenting what's in front of everyone's face want to just present shit to everyone, want to like, if they want to make it so that it's all just like engagement driven slop,
Yeah,
that's like going to keep people's attention as much as possible so that it drives advertising revenue.
Yeah, either driving advertising revenue or just driving narrative shifts. I mean, look who owns these things, like billionaires with agendas, with incentives, with narratives, and the fact that they can just make little tweaks and control what's being seen. So that's another huge point about Nostr and Primal and what we're doing. So everything is open source. So we are, and our algorithms are open source and opt in. So you can go verify like why content is being shown your way. You have more control over that. And that's a huge promise. And that's also something that legacy social media could start giving us more control over what we see and like options. And that'd be a really cool thing if they did that. And also just algorithmic choice is another important part of piece to this puzzle. And knowing why you're getting fed content.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's something we're building at Primal. It's just hard to really flex that right now because not all the content's going on Nostr Rails yet. It's still just trapped. I think if we're aliens looking down at how we communicate online, we'd be like just laughing. And then it's the same with money.
Right.
You know, the aliens would look down and see how we do money. Oh, they just trust that little group of people to control money. That's ridiculous. Right. And then they're like, oh, so everybody consumes information through their phone, and that information is given to them by these corporations with their whatever incentives they have to go. Like you're obviously programming people.
Right.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And Nostr changes that. It frees the information, and it's up to the clients, which there could be many. The clients are apps that provide a UX to see the information. And it's all cryptographically signed, so you know what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
I think it'll become more obvious very soon.
Yeah, it's exciting. Yeah. And you're about to go to Costa Rica for a conference, for a developer conference, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to hang out with all the developers.
All the devs, man. All the base devs. Like that's what makes me so bullish on this space is like these guys hate social media, so they have to build their own. Or like they see so many problems with how the internet works and functions, and it's like, okay, now that we got Nostr, now that we got Bitcoin, we could change the whole game and make a better place online for our future generations. And I'm not a technical guy at all. It took me forever to see Nostr too, and like what it really means for humanity, or could mean. And I get to go hang out with all of them and see what they're building. There's so many projects. And the cool thing about it all too, it's like every project adds gravity to the network. Every breakthrough, everybody that makes Nostr better, Primal can implement it. Like White Noise is this app that's aiming to be basically Signal, but instead of one central server like Signal has, it's a decentralized Signal. So basically a chat app. And now we can just maybe throw that code into Primal and have all this end-to-end encrypted private communications in our everything app that we're trying to build on open protocols, which is Primal.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, man, that's what I love. That's what attracted me to, I mean, the Bitcoin space and the Nostr and, all these kind of movements, coming together is just the fact that you have people who are, they're not waiting for someone else to like solve their problems. Like they're actively building solutions and building new.
Dude, it's so annoying. It's like, I think it's mainstream right now, at least in my circles, health circles. It's like everybody just talks crap on social media. It's like cool to hate on it. But nobody offers a solution. It's like, hey, we're building it. Like, come on, you know?
Like how many documentaries of like Facebook employees and stuff being like, oh yeah, we were doing this and we know it's like heroin for
like literally I wouldn't let my kids use it, but here I am working on it, you know, profiting major off of it.
Yeah.
Like we're literally just cogs in these machines right now, and they're just like harvesting our souls is how I see it. Whereas Nostr, I think it's really deep. It's like this is you on the internet, and this is your content owned by you that's going to work for you in many different ways.
Right.
And it's actually yours. I think it's deep.
Man, it's just, you know, I guess the cynic in me thinks about how people just don't really want it, right? People are, since we are just like little animals that are responding to stimulus online, there's no like incentive for most people because it's just so easy and it's so like attractive for people to like be in there on Snapchat or on Instagram or on their preferred network.
Yeah.
And they're getting like the dopamine rush and everything from it. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be.
We'll see how it goes. And I'm really like, I'm rooting on Nostr 100%. And I want to produce more and I want to try to continue to like, be present on it. But,
yeah. And you never know what could scale the app. Like, I mean, scale Primal and scale the whole ecosystem. Mm-hmm. Like, I always kind of thought that it was just going to be some random thing that ends up like bringing millions of people to Nostr without them even knowing it. And that's actually happening right now because Vine's being relaunched on Nostr.
Okay.
So all these people are going to, you know, have these principles and, you know, maybe have these IDs they own and can transfer to other apps. Yeah. But they're not going to know it. Yeah. But then there's going to be another app that comes out too, and it's like, oh, so it's all adding to this thing. And might make sense.
Yeah. And I think the power of Ecash and just zaps and payments value just being tied directly to your social graph and being able to so easily distribute value that way through the internet. That's going to me, it's going to be really powerful. And it's incentivizing creators to do that more and move and bring their audience in, especially the more, you know, the more widespread Bitcoin gets and the more people just want Bitcoin too.
So I guess what we're really focused on at Primal is to bring the Bitcoiners over. We have a Bitcoin wallet in the app, and you could send Bitcoin to people instead of just likes, super simply with one touch. And so it's like you're only going to join a social media network if your friends are there, and a lot of Bitcoiners' friends are already there. So we want to triple down on the Bitcoiners and let the network effects flow from there.
Right.
And we need to build something different and for it to, you know, catch on, and then it may turn into something as big as an Instagram or whatever, because we believe at our team that can build a UX just as good and everything. Yeah. But we want to build an everything app built on open protocols, like I said. Nostr and Bitcoin, and Blossom is another one. Okay. But I won't get into that. And so focusing on the Bitcoiners, making tools for them, and the next thing you know, it could take off. Right. Yeah. But that's another thing. It's built by Bitcoiners, and we think, I see this as a tool to onboard a bunch of people to Bitcoin, because this is a fundamentally new experience for them to feel Bitcoin for the first time in a social media context. What? And now it's more useful that Square just turned on Bitcoin in the US. So any Square seller can go and just flip on, I do want to accept Bitcoin for no risk, and just they could even convert it to US dollars right away. But still feeling like that Bitcoin can flow so smoothly and easily is huge. Because right now Bitcoin is just this idea in people's head, this big investment or like this risky drug thing or whatever you want to call it. It's got a bunch of different narratives, which we're aiming to help fix,
Right.
you know?
Right.
But just it actually being useful and used is a killer feature.
Yeah.
And the obvious feature for me, I mean, is the first line of the white paper, right? Peer-to-peer cash.
Right.
And that's the end state of it, in my opinion. That's how I like to live right now. Like I'm in the end state. That's why I own no fiat and spend Bitcoin every time I can. I'm trying to be about it instead of just preach about it.
Yeah. Well, that's something that I always like, dude, respected you for is just how you have, I mean, you have a social media presence. You have followers on X, you have followers on Instagram and everything. And, you know, in a certain way, in a certain sense, for a while, you're like an influencer, right? And I know that's not like the best term, but like you have a lot of people who pay attention to you. Mm-hmm. And I've always appreciated that you take that seriously and that you want to have integrity with the things you incorporate into your content and the companies that you work with, the companies you work for. Mm-hmm. So what's that decision process been like for you? How do you like determine what to like talk about and what to bring in, who to bring in to your like circle and your network?
I don't know. It just kind of flows. Yeah. And it's also like this funny dilemma that I think a lot of people have with Instagram. I was just in Kauai and I was talking with Bethany Hamilton. Like she talks a lot of crap about social media because of how broken it is, but you also got to be there and it feels bad. You got to spread your positive message, but blah, blah, blah. Right. And it's like, man, sometimes I kind of think I should really lean into Instagram, but then that just would feel so off brand too.
Yeah, that's kind of just, I want to keep going on pulling that on that thread.
Yeah.
But just as an aside, with there's in the Nostr community, there's a lot of people advocating for like just deleting all other socials and only using Primal or Nostr, and I kind of get it because they want to like just go all in, but it's also kind of like, well, what about everyone else? How do you like talk to everyone else about Nostr?
Yeah,
like if you're only in
that was on brand for Odell, but like
yeah.
everyone else, I bet they've already even recreated accounts and just like scroll those, you know, like
sure,
they probably had relapses. Yeah. But I do sincerely think that it's better for your health to get off a lot of those other platforms.
Sure.
And I mean, in the end state, that's the goal, is to just be Nostr only. And if you don't need to play these games of like status and business and everything, if you're like retired, just all right, I made a brick off Bitcoin, you should just be hanging out on Nostr and sharing your beautiful life and literally sharing your wealth too with zaps, like and zapping the change you want to see in the world. Right. But no, I definitely got to be everywhere. I even just started a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I saw that.
So, yeah, I'm feeding it, and it's fine.
How's that been for you, doing a more of a longer form, like vlog?
Yeah, they're fun, and it's kind of cool. I'm working with a guy. That feels good too, to not have the burden of editing it all, and he kind of helps script a little bit, although most of them haven't been scripted at all. I kind of just riff.
Okay.
I am tempted to try like a full-on scripted one and seeing what happens, but yeah, it's good, and you got to be everywhere to tell people about the product that you're building, of course.
Yeah.
And yeah, for as much crap as we talk on social media, it's like, you know, they're massive goods for the world as well. Just could be better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's one of your most controversial views on the world?
Ooh. You know what I always wonder if everybody focused on what they're good at and like have fun doing, I always wonder if everybody prioritized fun, what the world would look like. Is that possible? I mean, it sounds extremely privileged at first, but
yeah, it does. Because it's like you got the guy in his 9 to 5, like wage slave environment, being like,
Yeah, not even
trying
like
to provide for his family, you know, being like, I can't have fun. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
man?
and maybe that's what the internet provides too, is this ability to have fun and broadcast that fun to the world and make a living off of it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, maybe, so there's fun and then there's pleasure, right? And then maybe there's like a distinction there. When some people hear you say fun, they might be thinking it's like pleasure seeking. But to me, fun is a little different. It's way different.
I think it's completely different, yeah.
Yeah. How would you like differentiate like pleasure seeking versus like seeking fun?
Yeah, because part of like, oh, so I just play video games all day, Paul? Is that what you want me to do?
Right.
No, but maybe make a brand off of it. Is that's what you're really good at. You think it's your God-given gift, right? But yeah, and then the whole fun is, I don't think it's not sustainable, like sustainable fun.
Yeah.
You know, like surfing and whatever, doing podcasts even, or making a brand, whatever type of brand that is. It's all fun. It's all these games.
Right.
But like destroying yourself having fun, pleasure seeking just for pleasure's sake, that's not going to be sustainable.
Right. That's one of those things about surfing that I've always experienced, is like, it's something that I do, no matter what. When I come out of it, I feel like better. I just feel like what I was doing was worth the time. Yeah. Unless it's like really crappy and I feel the same way. You get yelled at or something in the lineup. And you're a kook.
I feel the same way. And this guy was just going through a breakup back in Kauai. It's like, we played some recreational soccer in his backyard, and he's like, dude, I just feel so much better after this every time. Me too. Of course, I'll just go run and play soccer, even though I suck at soccer. But it's like, okay, I'm going to get into my body and play around with other people.
Yeah.
Fun. And then you just feel good after.
Yeah.
And you made yourself healthier. Same with surfing. And then the cool thing about that stuff is that's other ways to meet people. Other ways to network. It's way better networking, going and playing and doing something, even especially if you're good at it, than other ways.
Right. Yeah, it's like, that's why I guess so many business meetings are over golf.
Yeah.
Right.
Get to see their proof of work.
For men in particular, it's much more natural for us to connect over an activity where we're like on, to bring back to caveman times when we're on the hunt. That's just what we're sort of used to in our biology, of like associating together and seeing each other interact, and building trust and experience and everything. So like, for instance, you and I can sit down and rip for a while and just kind of reconnect where we left off. But we also have like a lot of past experiences together and a lot of adventures and things that we've done together. Otherwise, if you're just sitting down having coffee with some random dude, it's not going to be like as natural. That's something that I've thought about in terms of community development, community building. It's interesting because there are all of these things like community and relationships, dating, food and health, all of these aspects of our life now. We're talking about them in these abstract terms and like trying to improve them. But back in our natural primal environment, it came a lot more naturally. It was just like how we live. But now, since we're in this like weird civilized world, like domesticated life, and that's
women in
like,
the workplace, go ahead and say it.
Women outside the kitchen.
What's your most controversial take?
We're getting there.
All right.
We're getting there. We're experiencing life, an improved way of life in a lot of ways, but we've regressed in a lot of ways too.
Oh yeah.
And you've got like a massive depression and loneliness epidemic now, especially amongst men. All sorts of like social problems going on. What I see is they're coming from social media in large part, but they're also coming from just the way that we live our lives now.
Yeah, a lot of it's just cheap dopamine. You don't got to work for it anymore.
Yeah.
What, like video game screens and porn?
Right.
Top 3 probably. things that are screwing things up.
It's great that we're able to, reignite the natural process of things just by getting together with like-minded people and doing fun shit. Mm-hmm. That's kind of, I guess, the way I see it, or what I was getting at.
Yeah. I think it's the meaning of life. Doing fun shit with your friends.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I alluded to it earlier, but we were in Argentina pretty much a year ago. Yeah. Together for basically like 3 weeks.
Yeah. That was basically my honeymoon, by the way.
Right. Yeah, we got you guys up in the honeymoon suite in Bariloche.
That was nice.
If you kind of reflect on that time, what are a couple of your like takeaways from that experience?
It's cool to travel with a pack. There's a slight mission to it all too. There's like a narrative, we were doing something, and there's people to learn from too. Yeah. We had Satoshi himself at the retreat.
Right. Yeah.
Coming with
powerful.
us. Yeah. Just having like access to humans to talk to, because you can talk to AI all you want, but they don't have the human flair to it.
Right.
There's so much to learn from humans and their experiences and their unique takes. Yeah, and just like you look at kids, they don't ask these crazy questions. Maybe they do now. It's maybe a little different, but I don't know. When I was growing up, it's just, you go, all you want to do is go play with your friends. And that's just basically what we're doing, but at an adult level. And I think as adults, we do start asking questions of what's the biggest role that we can play in leaving this place better for our children. Yeah. And I don't know, like a little bit of that adventure was doing that since we were shooting a film too. Right. Part of the mission.
Right.
It's fun.
It was like we were asking this question of how do we live the best free life in this day and age? Mm-hmm. And I mean, from my perspective, one of the answers was just like, go do fun shit with your friends. Mm-hmm. That's like one of the answers, because when you're doing that and when you're seeking out the adventure, that's how you're just experiencing the meaning of life, I guess.
Well, yeah, play is the highest form of being.
Yeah.
What's better than that?
Yeah. We should go play, do something.
Definitely.
Paul, thanks so much for being here. Do you have anything else you want to talk about or share?
Not really. Just hop on Primal, of course.
Awesome.
That's where you can find me, primal.net/Paul. Paul in the jungle everywhere else.
Awesome.
Yeah. Pura vida.
Pura vida.